Good morning. What is up, gang? Happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. Man, I love Mondays. I really do. I love Mondays. I love starting the week. Man, I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy my weekends. I enjoy seeing people doing whatever. Um, but man, I'm like, part of me is always like, I want to get back to it. So that's the awesome thing when you love what you do. And don't get me wrong, like there's parts of working that I don't always love, right? Like 100%. I don't love every single aspect of it, but overall, I love 80% of it. So, what do we got going on today? What happened over the weekend? Friday was crazy, right? Um, we had an amazing call with a buyer. I just shot him a text yesterday. He's gonna take a closer look at the property today and get back to me. We've got the hedge fund gave us an offer on Friday for the property with a 25K spread. So that's really good. But they still have to inspect it. So that we're actually looking to get scheduled for Tuesday, tomorrow. So they'll walk it, and then they'll probably come down on price. They'll be like, "Oh, we saw this, this, and this. Here's our solid offer." But we've got to set that up. And there's one other buyer that I had interested that was going to take a look at it. And there's one other thing I'm missing. I can't remember. It'll come to me. But yeah, so that's kind of what we got going on. That's everything that happened on Friday. Over the weekend, not a whole lot happened. No like big crazy updates. I know there is a property a guy wants me to take a look at. He thinks he can get it for a good number, and he wants me to kind of comp it and let him know. It's the same wholesaler that brought me this deal. So we are going to do that. And trying to think what else. We've got some agents. We got a call today. I do know. So let me share my screen. I got to present on this. What am I doing? What am I doing? Entire screen. We'll do this one. Perfect. And then over here. Okay. And then what we're going to do is over here, we're going to present, share screen, entire screen. Going to do this one. Boom. Okay. Awesome. That's what we wanted. Cool. All right. So let's look at, I know we had a realtor we wanted to reconnect with today. If you guys remember, we want to shoot a quick text to this dude. So what do? So the way I set up my follow-ups is I kind of have like a funnel, no lead left behind kind of system. Basically it's like I'm setting up a follow-up date, and my views on the side here, if I miss a follow-up, it's not just lost in the abyss forever. No, if I miss a follow-up, it'll fall into one of these buckets that say past follow-up, right? And right now, I just have two kind of follow-up buckets. I created they're either a nurture follow-up or a specific follow-up. And like for me, I just made it into like, hey, is this just a general, nurture, or am I specifically following up, on a specific property, on a specific conversation, whatever the case may be. So this guy, if you guys remember, so this property on North Bombay, throw it in for you guys. You'll probably remember it when you see it, unless you're just tuning in today for the first time. What's up, Facebook user? Boom. That's right, man. Monday morning, we are back at it. All right, so this property. So they went under contract. Remember, they had a guy that offered cash, but today would be the last day of their inspection. And I was like, hey, I'll touch base with you just in case the inspection doesn't go as well as they were hoping. So let me shoot Brian here a text right now. Brian, was it Rottenberger? Hey, Brian. Hope your weekend went well. Just want to touch base like we talked about. See if like still moving forward well with that other offer. Hey, Brian, hope your weekend went well. Just want to touch base like we talked about and see if everything looks like it's still moving forward well. It's kind of an awkward sentence. Just want to touch base. Let me just get rid of like we talked about. It's a little unnecessary. Just want to touch base and see if everything looks like it's still moving forward with that other offer. Send. Okay. Let me make some notes for myself. Some stuff I gotta do today. Okay. Cool. So we did that. We'll leave this here as a follow-up until we hear back from them. I know we've got some privy emails, some new stuff that met our criteria. So we're gonna take a look at that. But first, let's comp this property. Cool. Brian, so far so good. Great. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a follow-up date for like, we'll make it a month out. And then in the follow-up, I'm going to put today's date. This is just how I do my follow-ups. So I know the date that I wrote this on. It said still moving forward well. Contact in a month to confirm. Cool. Boom. And now when we refresh the page, boom, nothing's in our, what's this one? Oh, this is a different thing. Oh, this was actually, I don't know why I put it specific. It was really more of a nurture. Let's actually just switch that right now. Okay. So now when I look at the different buckets that I have, I just have one pass follow-up and a nurture. The reason why I separate this is because it's like I can get to it, or if I have other stuff that's more important, like it's okay for me to, I can get to my nurture whenever today. It's not urgent right now. With it being said, don't skip your follow-ups, guys. Don't skip your follow-ups. It is a slippery slope. It is so easy to be like, I'll just get to it tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes tomorrow, right? And you're on to the next day. And then it's like, oh man, I haven't done a follow-up in like 2 months. And you're like, why am I not getting any deals? Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Let's comp that property. Our wholesaler want to take us a look at. Also, I got to, first and foremost, I got to re-email this dude. Hey, Miguel. Hope weekend went well. Does Tuesday at 1 p.m. work for you? Also, once they do the inspection tomorrow, how soon are you able to provide us with the hard offer? Thanks, Nathan. Send. Cool. All right, so let me know if you can just send another email to them now, and looking at that property now, and I'll let you know in a few minutes. All right, so all right, let's put this address in here. So 5262 Tulane, Jacksonville. Now again, not really our market. But we do have some people that'll buy all around the state. So, and if it's a good enough deal, you know, and we kind of know what our buyers are looking for, you know, it's still something we can move. So let's look at comps. So he's thinking that ARV is, when he first, so he hit me up on Saturday and was like, yo, I think ARV is 700, and I think I can get it for, you know, whatever price. Hold on. How long has this been listed? 3 days. So he's thinking ARV is, originally he thought ARV was like 700, and I just like quickly threw the address into Zillow, because I wasn't at my computer, and I just wanted to get a real, like, just a quick look of, you know, hey, does that sound plausible or like not at all? Let me bring this up so I can show you guys what I was looking at. All right. Well, I actually don't need this. So what I do is I bring up property, I exit out of it, and then I'm looking at solds. And then I want to look at as far as 12 months back. And why do I do that? I know some people are like, oh, Nate, but like you should only look like 90 days back or 6 months. I want to be able to look, I don't want it too narrow, you know, not at the beginning, right? I want to start a little wide, and then I can narrow in. If I like start at 12 months back, and if there's like a million results, I'm like, whoa, okay. Like let's, you know, narrow it in. But usually, you know, you might, for 12 months, you might get something like this, or maybe even something a lot less, right? Where you might only have 2 or 3 results. So that's why I start at 1 year. And then if I go back 2 years, that's really rare. It's only if there's like absolutely no comps and I'm trying to get an idea. So it's right in here. It's on Tulane, right? It's on this right here. So I took a real quick look, and I'm like, I don't see anything over like 350 is the max, right? This sold for 368. And our property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,400 square feet. You know, these properties, this is, if I'm just looking in here, Let's just do this. I want price high to low so I can see the highest comps. Okay. Do I like just, we don't have great pictures of this house, but it doesn't have a garage. Let's see if there's a street view. Not there. Let's see if there's one on Privy. So there's no garage. So no garage. This is a 4.2, basically 2,800 square feet, and it's like, I mean, yeah, it's this. So I would not say our ARV could get close to that. Now, granted, it's also over here. And these are higher. So that actually plays against us. I want to find something like right here. See Cornell, that's also not really where we're looking, but still, you know, look at that. Like, this is not the house that we have. Neither is this one. This, now we're getting a little bit closer. This sold for 420. You know, it's not really the area that we want. And so basically I took a real quick look and I was like, nah, dude, like, I was like, dude, I took a quick 30-second look. I was like, I don't see how it could be a 700 ARV. I was like, send me some comps of what you're looking at. So he texted me some of these comps and he says, I believe you could get 580 after the fix up. I still don't think so, but just from looking at this. But let's see what comps we have here. So this is this house that we've seen. Let's change this. Oh, they switched this up a bit. Okay, they made more updates to it. Interesting. So it is showing us. Here we go. Now it's got more. I think they made a few changes because like these things are kind of weird. All right. No problem though. We'll still figure it out. So again, there's still nothing showing up here. I mean, let's just look at the price. I mean, there's not even a comp here that's even sold for 580. But all right, let's just look at his comps because I don't even want to waste my time going through these because I mean it's kind of overwhelming, right? Like it's overwhelming that like this isn't a 700K property and it's probably not a 580K, right? I mean this sold for 567. You know, let's just take a real quick. I mean, it's got the one car garage. It's got this beautiful, you know, it's 2-story. It's, I mean, look at this thing. I mean, the kitchen's not even, you know, redone. So they probably could have got more money, but I think this was like, guys, look at this. Don't underestimate landscaping. Also, this is the difference between why did this property sell for like 150 grand more than all the others in this neighborhood, right? Like let's look at these comps. So the neighborhood's here, right? Not here, not over here. Let's go back to our original comp. Hold on, let's just look at these pictures a little bit more. So they've got this beautiful, oh, wait, what's all that down there? Guys, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Like that's not the rehab that we're doing. All right, let's go back to our property. So, yeah, literally like 140 grand more than anything else that's sold in this neighborhood. That's crazy. But actually, wait, where is this comp? Well, it wasn't even in our neighborhood. I think it's, yeah, it's over. No, it's, where is it? Am I going crazy? Oh, I'm sorry. It's right here. Yeah. So it's close enough. All right, let's just look at his comps, and then we will shoot him a text and move on. Let me bring up Privy. Oops. All right, so he is looking at, so 2802 Alvarado. So this sold for 580 January. Okay. Where's our neighborhood though? Let's okay, so we're up here. Okay, we're right here, so it's not incredibly far, but it's further than I like. But okay, like it could be worse. It does have a 2-car garage, but at least this comp is a relatively similar. All right, let's look at a different one. But I still like, let's look at these comps real quick. I want to see. Yeah, let's just look at the price. So again, for some reason, this sold substantially higher than everything else. Like, are there certain pictures on Redfin or something? I kind of want to just get an idea of what the inside looks like on this. So no pictures. Yeah, and again, when you're using comps, like if you have a comp, like this is actually an issue that we're having with the property that we have under contract right now, that one of our buyers gave us pushback on, is he's like, dude, the one comp that you're leaning on that sold for 348, yes, it's an exact comp and property, but he's like, dude, it's the highest thing that sold in that neighborhood. And like highest by a substantial amount, right? It's higher by like 60 grand than the other properties in this neighborhood. Now, for us as a wholesaler, hey, we're using that as our comp. Like if it's a comp, we're using it as a comp. As a flipper, I'd be concerned about the same exact thing. You know, same thing with this one. Is there some kind of you know, why did this sell? You know, if it just, you know, we've talked about this before. If it just doesn't, if it doesn't make sense, or if your gut kind of tells you like, something's off here, it's because it probably is. All right, let's look at the next one. 3025 Brookwood. Why isn't this popping up? Let's do. Here we go. Okay, sold for $0. Nice. Let's see if it shows up on Redfin. I know he uses Redfin for when he's looking at stuff. Was it during the time when interest rates were low and people were paying over asking? No. So I'll double check, but I think I have it here. I think it sold in January. Yeah, it sold January 9th. So yeah, because that's exactly one thing you would want to look at, right? And that's why we don't look too far back. Is because then it would be like a totally different time period, totally different market. But this did sell recently, but it just still doesn't make sense. Not saying it's not true or that it's false, but it just doesn't seem to add up. Okay, maybe this is the wrong address. It's popping up here, but I don't know where he got comp information from. All right, let's look at the next one. 1247 Ardley. No. Or yeah, here it is. Was that Ardsley? So let me. So ours is down here. I mean, technically it's pretty much, within a half mile, but again, like this can be like a totally different neighborhood. And just looking at the price point, and it's like right here on the water. Big difference. Let's just look at many upgrades. I mean, yeah, it looks beautiful. What's the size of this? This is a 3.2, 2,300 square feet. No, this one doesn't have a garage. But yeah, it's a nice house. But oh, no, it does. It's got a detached 2-car. Also, look at that swing set. That's cool. I mean, yeah, this is, I mean, guys, when we look at ours, not the same. But it just like the neighborhood, it just has a totally different feel to it. These are the things where it's like, if you push these out as comps, your buyers are going to rip you apart. And they're going to be pissed because they're going to be like, dude, you're wasting my time. And they're going to be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's look at one more. 1652 Sherrill. Okay, so this one is the closest. This is all right. This is kind of funny. So he goes, this one's the close. Oh, we actually looked at this. So, but I don't think that this isn't closest in location, is it? Or yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, so I think this one's here. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. So this one's right here. Now the other thing, this is it. This is a cul-de-sac, right? So that's going to give it a little bit more value, right? But he even said, so he sends me this address as the last one and says it in his text. Or no, I think he gives me one more. Or no. So this is the last comp he sends me, and he's like, yo, this one's the closest. And it's sold for $427. Right? Like, he kind of answered his own question. Like, this is gonna be closer to what ARV is. Oh, and our house does, or no, it's single story. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice back deck. This is a lot more of what we're going to be looking at. The other thing is, this property is, it's right here, right? So it's, a road that's in the middle here, and it's also like, so it's not like a cul-de-sac, it's not a dead end, and it's also got a house behind it. Are the lot sizes similar? Good question. This one's 96. Does it not say? Let's see if it says in public records. So, oh, look at that. Lot size, 21,000 square feet. Good catch. Ours is like less than half. So that's another great observation. Like, good question, another thing to look at, right? But even if we said 427 is the ARV, like, this needs a big rehab, right? Like, just from looking at that, like, it's gonna need a lot of work. And even if we could swing a 430 ARV, which I don't think we could, but even if we could, it's like the numbers wouldn't add up. See if you can reach out to that realtor and see why it sold for so much. I would if it was worth my time, right? But we're too far off on price, and we don't even think that property's a comp. So I don't want to waste my time calling that agent on a property that, we're not even in negotiation with the seller. We don't think the ARV is there to support it, right? And there's really only two things that realtor can say is like, oh, it sold for this, oh, we got this awesome price because, like, I'm an awesome realtor and we did a great job with the rehab, right? Or it's this neighborhood, or it's because it's this or this or this or whatever, something specific. Or it's like, oh, it sold for this price because of blank, something that obviously you're like, oh yeah, that totally cancels out my property, right? So it's something that either obviously cancels out your property, or they're just like, oh, it was because of this, which you're like, okay, like, That's normal. Could be us as a comp, but like I still wouldn't be able to use that as a comp when talking to my buyers. So, and again, we've got other calls we want to make, other deals to look at. Taylor, I'm about to get my first deal. I've watched all these vids twice. It's helped so much. Dude, that's crazy. First deal. Man, that is awesome. I'm so stoked for you. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is like, that just made my Monday. Seriously, that makes me so excited when to hear that from you guys. I freaking love it. Love it. Yeah, keep us posted. I want to hear how it goes. But don't spend the money until it closes. Right? There's a lot of stuff that can happen, throughout the deal and through the transaction process. So just stay focused, keep working at it. And if for whatever reason, if by some chance, it probably won't, but if by some chance something were to pop up, don't let it get you down. All right, you got it. That's freaking awesome though. Awesome. All right, so we're done looking at this house. I'm just gonna call him later and talk to him on the phone about it. I mean, just because it'll be easier. That's a conversation I kind of want to have with him on the phone. I like him. I really like working with him. So it's a few things. One, he keeps kind of bringing these to me because I'm able to provide. Right, guys, we talked about providing value. You don't have to be amazing. One of my things is I'm really good at closing and the sales process. So that's one piece of value I can bring to him. But guys, one thing like any of you can do, and we've been doing a lot of it in this challenge. We're on day 14, right? We're almost halfway. Comping, right? So when I call him, I'm going to be able to walk him through, hey, this is what I'm looking at, and do it in like a gentle way, because nothing hurts more than when it's like you're so excited, you think you got a deal, you're really hyped about it, and then somebody's like, no, man, there's this, and it just like chops you down. That sucks. Nobody likes it. It's really not necessary. But at the same time, we do want that information, right? Like that is really helpful, right? If I'm missing something on a deal, I want all that info. Just like, hey, man, like, give it to me. Be nice about it, be gentle. So that's what we're going to do. Is when I talk to him on the phone, going to be gentle about it and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking at, blah, 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 blah. And he's going to get a ton of value because he's going to be like, okay, got it. And I'm not scaring him away. Like, he's still going to want to bring me the deals that he finds. Like, he's still going to want to come to me first. Same thing, right? We had the same, on the flip side, that's how we were with on Friday when we spoke with that buyer, right? Renan. The dude was freaking awesome, right? He made it so easy for me to want to go to him first every single time, right? And so that feeling that he was able to do for us, we want to be able to do that for the other people that we work with. All right, let's see. Tuesday, 1 p.m. works for us. Richard Martinez. Can I give him your contact info? 100%. Our system updates a little slowly sometimes when it comes to the inspection showing up on my side. But I should be able to get something for you before the end of the day tomorrow. Okay, perfect. Man, I like how quick that they work. Okay, so let me text Aurel. Hedge fund just confirmed for Tuesday at 1 p.m. Can you shoot an email to the agent and let her know? Can you please shoot an email to the agent and let her know? Also, they should be able to give us a hard offer by the end of the day tomorrow. So if you want to see, I'm just gonna say, okay, cool. All right, you just let her know. Perfect. Good, good, good. All right. John Bates, new on here. How are you generating leads? John, what's up? Glad to have you. Great question. So, number of things. So we're Privy. We're using Privy to where it's able to kind of bring us. We're able to set these filters of these certain criteria that we're looking for in deals, and then it will email us all the properties that meet our criteria. And everything new that comes up, or whenever something hits our criteria, I'll get an email. Right here, I've got emails from Privy of deals that are on the market that meet my criteria. And then I look at them and see, hey, is this something I want to give a call on or not? Also, we're working with other wholesalers. So step one was to get some really, really good cash buyers. So that's what we did. We have 10 really good cash buyer relationships. Then it's okay. We want to network with other wholesalers and get them to bring us deals. And then we also want to do this and work with agents and look for on-market properties. Why? Because all that costs zero money. Privy costs like $97 a month. We have a special link for it somewhere. I don't have that for you guys. I apologize. But it's like $97 a month, and there's like a 30-day money back guarantee, which is crazy. So that's literally the only thing that's costing any money. But like, start with the buyers. Start with the buyers. Start with the buyers. That's more important than generating the leads. Start with the buyers, and then we move on to the leads. But I highly recommend, go back. We're on day 14 right now. You want to see like day 1 through 4 or 5. That was all like, how do we find and create the relationships with the best cash buyers. Then like day 5 or 6 was when we started setting up Privy to finding deals. John Bates, I am the buyer. Cool, man. Well, then you can just skip right over to step 2 with setting up Privy. So yeah, check out. I think it might have been day 5. Day 5 or day 6 was when we started that stuff. Okay, cool. Sweet. How long did they take to close? Did Miguel say? If we're comparing firm number was 0 days. Great question. Okay, great. Yes, you can give him my email and personal cell number that is listed below. Once you give us the hard offer, how quick can you typically close? Nathan, 845, 853, 6551. All right. Just asked. Pretty sure. So I'm texting Burrell, the wholesaler, back. Sweet, how long do they take to close? I just asked. Pretty sure they can close quick though. All right. Let's look at some of these properties. So Let's see what goodies Privy sent us today. Let's get rid of all this other stuff. Boop, boop. All right, so this listed 4 days ago. I like it. I love when I see bad pictures. I went on like a rant 2 or 3 times last week about like why on earth would you not get good pictures? But the reason why I like looking at them is like when I see a picture like this out of focus, I'm like, yep, this is a potential deal. Why? Because I already know it needs work. Whoever's listing this thing isn't going to get as much money or isn't going to get as much attention as they could have if they put a little bit more effort into it. Or you know, and like without putting it on them of like, oh, they're not doing their job, like it could be a foreclosure, right? Like it could be an REO. So to where, you know, like I am their ideal buyer, right? And if I'm the person they're looking for, it's really not about having the best pictures ever. Or for that's how they perceive it. They're like, you know, investors don't really care how good the pictures look anyways. They just, as long as the numbers work. What would have been the garage was left as a finished bonus room. It's been a rental. So the other nice thing is what would have been the garage was left as a finished bonus room. So which means the house is probably a little weird. Let's look at comps. I don't know how I feel about the lines versus the dots. Kind of like them as dots. Or like, I don't know, they seem harder to like see and click on. Maybe it's because this is easier if it's like a dense area. Yeah, that would make sense. Like if there's dense and there's a ton of comps popping up rather than just looking like this blob of dots and you can't really see what's what. This probably, yeah, okay. I get it. I think I get it now. All right, let's look at these investor comps. This I would say is not a comp. So ours is a 3.2, 1,600 square feet, built in 98, and we do not have a garage. So I'm not interested in that property. Let's look at some of these. So I'm seeing 320 to 360. So just quick guess. Well, no, let me take that back. So this sold for 320. Let's look at these 343. I don't know pictures on these. That's unfortunate. What's active? Oh, so this looks like this will flip. Let's take a closer look. Oh, why is it freaking out? There we go. Let's look at some before and after. So they bought it pretty much end of July last year, and they listed it basically a month ago. This looks nice. It's interesting. Property history. Park Square Enterprises. So the buyer, Jack DuBall. Honestly, this might not be a flip. I mean, there's no pictures of the interior, but oh yeah, no, definitely not. So he bought it. He bought it for 365, and it's listed for 404. So yeah, I think that was just a retail buyer. It's 264. Man, it's hard because there's not really that many comps. So where is this? That's the other thing. Yeah, not really where we have a lot of buyers. We don't have a ton of buyers. I don't have any really solid comps. Let me. Oops. Or let me actually go back to comps. Let me see if I have all activities set up. Nope, I didn't. There we go. All right, now let's look at it a bit more. Excuse me. Out of folks pictures equals potential deal. I know, I love it. And I love me some potential deals. All right, so we're taking a quick look here. So the high end, we got 400, right? Anything from 220 to 400. So probably not going to have over a 400 ARV. Ours is listed at 264. Let's see if we can. Ours is a 98. I don't want something with a garage. It's a 62. Now why did I click on that? Just because, like, I know it's smaller, it's a lot older, but I just wanted to get an idea of what am I looking at? Like, where's the low end, right? What's the low end of the neighborhood? We know 400's at the high end. Okay, and like we're working it in, right? We're like trying to figure out roughly where we're at. This has got a big lot. So let's see, ours is a 98. It's got a 3.2, but it's got a garage. All these has garage, and this sold for 289. Let's see, are any of these are all newer. I mean, these are 4.2s with 2-car garages. This is the closest thing to 98. So there's one good thing to look at, right? So everything, let's look at this one quick. Yeah, that's not our house. That is for sure. And that looks like it was marketed well. So look at it. All this is like 2020, right? 2000 and up. And like just a quick glance of like, oh, okay, like all these newer houses are selling for like 320 to 400. Nothing older than 2000 has sold above 320. Doesn't mean that tells us the whole story, but it gives us an idea. Also, really quick glance. Every single one of these has a garage, right? This is the garage up here. Every single one of these has a garage. Another piece of information. So honestly, our ARV, this is probably like right around ARV, what it's listed at. 264 would be my guess. Let's go back a little bit. So this is this is a 1,000 square feet. Ours is bigger. This sold for 239. All right, that still kind of supports what we're saying. This has got a garage. I actually think our house is nicer than this one. You know, this has got a garage. It's a single car garage, you know, but the house doesn't look great. Yeah, okay. So, and then that's pretty much it for comps. And then if we just real quick looked at actives, sort by price. What are some of these flips? Bought a 315, 450. Yep. 4-bed, 3-bath, 3-car garage. This one, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage. Like all these have garages. So ours would be the only active listing without a garage. Now, the potential, though, is when we read the description, it sounds like there could be the potential to convert that room back into a garage. So that's where the potential money is. But, you know, again, like looking at the numbers, where we think ARV is, you know, we would need to be a lot steeper, a lot lower of a price. And they just listed it 4 days ago. So we're going to go to add to lists, failed soft vet. And this isn't in like our go-to, like this isn't in Orlando. So, you know, might be more difficult. Like our buyers might be on the fence on going here. All right, so that's one. Let's look at the next one. And ideally, we want to comp them a little bit quicker than I have been. So let's try to do this one real quick. Okay. 2-1. little work and you can have this puppy rented. So this is in Sanford. Okay. I don't mind Sanford. I like that better. All right. That's weird. Okay. So now it's back to the way it was. All right, cool. So let's look at some of these investors. So they're listed at 109. 109. It's 21,000 square feet. Sort these by price. So, and ours is a 1925. It's old. It's old, pretty much a 100-year-old property. Why is that good to know? Because your buyer is going to let you know. If you're looking at new comps, and that's the other thing, when even if you find comps at the same year built and they're a hard comp, there's still certain factors that you need to keep in mind about your property, right? Like even if like we have these 3 other comps that are like hard at 200. You have ARV of 200. It looks like it only needs 25, 30 grand, whatever. You're gonna get pushback because guys are gonna be like, they're like, yeah, but it's a 100-year-old house. They're like, it's gonna be, and you're like, yeah, but the numbers work. They're like, yeah, I get the numbers work, but I either need it at a steeper price, a lower price, because it's a 100-year-old house. Like it's going to be more of a headache to work with. There's always going to be more stuff wrong, once we start opening up walls and doing whatever. Some guys just won't even touch 100-year-old houses, right? So let's look back here. So this sold for 160. Okay. This is active at 209. And that looks nice. And it's 1971. Let's see. This is a 1920. Sold for 225. Look at that. Let's take a peek. Now this is a 3-2, which doesn't really help us. But see, there are pictures of the inside. Brand new roof. Yeah. Nice looking house. No garage, just got like the carport. So that's good. The hard thing though is it's a 2-1. Not a 3-2. Let's look at this. So this was a 2-2. Oh, and they brought it to a 3-1. Interesting. This sold for 235. Or no, it's under contract. I want to take a look at that. So they did a nice rehab on it. So it does have a 1-car garage. But honestly, I kind of like this house as a comp. Or as far as giving us the best feel. It's small. It's a 1-bathroom. Like, it doesn't look pretty, in my opinion. Like, I mean, it doesn't look like outstanding, I mean, it looks like they did a really nice rehab. And the nice thing is they bought that at 102. Actually, let's go back to that real quick. Let's look at so if we were to get the property under contract, this is the first person I would want to call. Now let's look at another thing. They bought it Where's the before and after? Well, it tells us right here. So they bought it in October. Okay. So that's good. You know what? So I'm gonna add this to market research cash buyers because I wanna call this buyer. This property, I'm going to add pass soffit, save. So we're gonna call in this property and we're gonna add it to our list. All right, Lederman Inc. All right, let's get this. Let's get Philip's number. Missed call. Was that the dude for the inspection? I don't know, Dexter. Bro, he didn't call me on Friday. All right, so this is a buyer. It was actually no, I'm sorry, not a buyer. So I hit up I hit up Keegley because I was like, oh, they're in Orlando. Like, let me chat with them and get as many eyes on the property as possible, right? Especially if right now the only offer, I hit up our go-to guys. I'm still waiting to hear back from Renan. Right? Don't put everything else on hold. There's your go-to guys that you want to give a first look at it, but if you're short on time, or they're not able to get you an answer quick enough, guys, it's a business at the end of the day. You got to do what you got to do to get a deal sold. And I mean, I still hit them up first anyways. So what I mean by that is, originally it was, hey, I'm giving you guys a first look. Now it's like we're looking to find the buyer. Like, we need to get a buyer lined up. So with that being said, I hit up Keegley just because I never sold the deal with them before, but they're in Orlando. And I called Friday, and the dude was supposed to. He just got back to me now. He just tried calling me. Yeah, you guys want to see me give him a little bit of a hard time? I'm gonna joke with him a little bit. So this is a dude from Keegley who was supposed to call me on Friday.
Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Dexter.
Yep. How you doing today?
Good, man. I'm good. I thought I was gonna hear back from you on Friday.
Yeah, man. I apologize. I guess we got pretty busy on Friday. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I didn't see your the task I had set up to talk to you until this morning.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I'm just giving you a bit of a hard time.
Yeah, I apologize for that though.
Yeah. So I've got this property. I did Liam send you the address for it? I texted it to him.
Yep, it's the Beecham Drive, 3848 Beecham Drive.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'd love to do is I was calling you guys up. It's a property I have under contract, looking to assign. I'd love to know a little bit about kind of what the process looks like with you guys, and what price you kind of think you would be able to sell it for.
Okay, all right. Well, as far as the first thing first, what I would do is, like, I'm looking at the property now, so I got to pull it up, and trying to pull up comps for it, because what we normally do is kind of see what the market value is, and then what we pay is about 65% of that is what we'd be willing to pay for it. What's the condition of the property?
So you guys wholesale it at? Are you guys the one buying it, or are you putting it out to your buyers and then selling it at 65?
Yeah, on this one we put it out to our buyers. Yeah, we put it out to our buyers.
So and the best your buyers can do is 65.
No. like, so there's two different ways we can do it. So we can do it so we can JV, right? So then you and I, or you and us would be partners. So then we go 50-50. So whatever, you'd like to sell it at, we just, split the cost after the contract 50-50. Or what we do is we usually buy it at about 65%, and then we market it to our customers with usually a 5K to like a 10K markup for our fee on top of that.
Got it. So there's two options. Either you guys buy it at 65% and it's you actually buying it, or I would do a 50-50 JV with you guys. Does that sound right?
Yep.
And then it's got it. Okay, cool. So yeah, you said you're looking at the property right now.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be worth close to 300. So I think let me check it out.
You're saying for what, ARV?
ARV, yeah. ARV, but I just want to dig into it a little bit. I just opened it up. So I see you got it pending at 280, or you got it at 280.
It was, yeah. So this is an on-market MLS deal that we got under contract. So
okay,
280
so
was
280.
Correct.
Okay, I got it. And what was the condition like?
Yeah, it's exactly what you have on the pictures.
Okay.
So it's in.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, you're good.
It was just on market, so they put up the pictures. All right. 280. So. So, yeah, I think the ARV is probably what they tried to list it at, close to what they tried to list it at before, that 279.9. I think, because I think the best one I see is pretty close to it on Mesa Court. That one went for 300, and it had okay, all right. So I think yeah, top of the market. If we do a really nice flip on it, we can tell them they could probably get about 300. So then we can do like 65 of that.
So you think 300's the ARV? Did take a look at what about, are you seeing the comp on Mesa Court, the 6836? Mesa?
I do, and it just kind of feels like the anomaly to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks the numbers look right and everything. It's one of the comps, but it's the only one that's that far out.
Yeah. Now there's an active, I'm not saying it's it's not a sold comp, but if you look at 3526 Superior Court, so that was a flip. It's smaller than ours. It's only got a one-car garage, doesn't have a pool. It was bought at 280, and then they just listed it like 2 weeks ago for 397.
They listed it for 397. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at that one. You said hold on. What was the address on that one?
3526 Superior Court.
Superior Court. Is that in the same subdivision?
It's like pretty much right across the street.
Okay. All right, let's type it in. I just tried to see if I could just find it if I'm typing it. What was the game? You said 65.
I'm sorry, what's that?
What was the address again for Superior Court? What was
3526 Superior.
3526. Okay, and I see they got it listed at 397 now. Let me see what they did to it. I mean, it looks really good in there, but the 397 just seems pretty ambitious. But it looks really nice. It's a nice flip. They redid everything. You're right. The square footage is very similar. One car garage. Nothing special in the backyard. that would be the highest price recently sold in that neighborhood for months.
Right.
I mean,
so
what I mean? It's just,
so what I'm looking at is because I get what you're saying, but that's why like I think 300 for an ARV would be low, because if we look at, there's the 348 comp, that's like, I mean, that's as solid of comp as you can get. Now granted, yeah, it's sold high, I'll give you that.
But you said you can get, but that's from November. You know what I'm saying? So like really solid, it isn't that many months ago. Like that's you know what I mean. As far as like a good comp goes, you want something, and a month is really good. The same month or within a few weeks is excellent. Like there's stuff sold in February, but to go all the way back to September, I think that's a pretty big reach because it's an entirely different market. You'd already have to discount just because the market was different, just without even changing anything about the home status, size, or anything like that. Just from the fact that was in November, you could take off like 15% off that price.
You guys are taking 15% off of comps that are 3 months old and that are as-is comps.
I don't do it because I'll tell you the truth. What we try to do is find ones that are just recent.
Right.
And if we have to go back that far for something, that's what I'm saying. In my head, I'd be trying to do all this extra calculus, and I just feel like, honestly, when it comes to showing it to our buyers, they always feel like that stuff's too much. They want stuff where they could easily look at it, see some recent comps, some recent solds, that could justify it. Like I just feel like 348. Not only was it a while ago, but it was a really high price for that area.
So it sounds like the buyers that you guys work with, they only look at comps that are 30 days old, and
I wouldn't say 30 days. I wouldn't say 30 days, but this one's we're almost in March, and that one's from November, so that one would be like 5 months. But I would say like 2 months is good. It would be fine, but and then especially if it was like you had other ones that were more recent that also justified it. Like, yeah, you got that one from 5 months ago, but yeah, we got another one that was 330 that was like last month or something like that. I would also lump it in. But to me, it just seems like more of a statistical anomaly than something I would be able to use to show how much I'd be able to make.
So tell me, so then what comps are you looking at for a 300 ARV? And then maybe I'll understand a bit better.
I got you. All right. So the most recent one that was closed, period, in the neighborhood is on Beachman Drive. That one is 0.05 miles away. So that's 3901 Beachman. That was a 2-2, right? So it's one less bedroom, but very similar square footage. So that one has 1,030 square foot. You guys have 1,100. Built in the same year, so pretty close. So I said on that one, I would take that one. I would add extra money for a bedroom, and I felt like even 300 to me felt like it was being a little generous, to be honest with you. Like going up because of how close they are with square footage, but I still felt like I could justify it by saying, hey, we got one that was recently sold. Around the same square footage, but and then when I look at the condition on the inside, let me see how it looks. Yeah, it doesn't look great. It doesn't look like it's like the top of the market. It's not horrible. It has like gas stove, nice kitchen. It's not something I would need to remodel. It's something that I can make some slight improvements on, but it's not like and it also has a pool.
When you're looking at the 3901 Beachman still? Is that the one you're still talking about?
Yeah, 3109 Beachman. Yeah, that one has a pool on it too.
So that's the one that you're using as the strongest comp. Am I understanding that?
Yeah. To me, that's the strongest comp.
So you'll take a more. So for you, it sounds like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the timeline is more important than the similar property. Within when we're comparing like something that's sold within 30 days versus 3 months. you're saying that the timeline is more important.
I wouldn't say that. I would say if you had two properties that were both sold within the last 30 days, and one of them was more similar, I'm going to go with the more similar one every single time. But if you have something that was, if you're trying to use a comp that was from like 4 or 5 months ago or a longer time ago, I'd rather take something that's not exactly as similar that was done, in this same month, because I think that'd be a better representation of what the market is right now. Because the difference is,
well, I guess explain to what's changed in the market in the past 4 months. Like what's actually changed in the market. I'm open. I'm asking if you'd be able to, help me out, because I think I'm missing something here.
All right, I got you. I'll tell you exactly what changed in the market. If we just honestly, in the market, this particular market, so I'm not just talking amorphously about the market in the United States based on some crazy personal opinion. Like I'm just saying this neighborhood. If we just look at the homes sold in this neighborhood, like we can see, like I'm looking at all the 3.2s that are around 1,100 square feet, and I'm seeing that the highest priced one that I can see would be yours at that 348, and that was in November. But if I look at all the stuff, so I would say that was the best possible price you could have gotten, because just looking at the statistics, the best number I see is in November, and then I can go to the very next month. September, then we go to the very next month, and then we can also see that the prices started to go down. I do see one that was just crazy. It was like $667,000 of Mesa Court. It was 3.2s, 1,500 square feet. I just know that was probably, like, if I click into that, I bet that was like they bought multiple properties or something like that with this one. It's like it's an LLC, and I bet they brought 2 homes for at the same time, and that's why that price is that way.
So you're saying the 348s because they bought 2 homes?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I see another one that's on my comp list, and it's for $600,000, and that was because they bought 2 properties. So that was the actual highest. The very next highest, and that was in November, and then the next very highest price will be yours, and that was 348, and then that was in September. But everything other than that is under 300. It's under $300,000. The closest I see one at 315, and that was on Beachman also, and that was the very beginning of February, 315.
If
3931 Beachman.
If we were to JV this, what would you be able to sell it at?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't want to make a promise to you about like exactly what number we would get, but I would say if I had to guess, because I think we'd be able to justify 300. And I think we may be able to find a buyer for it around 210. Maybe even better. I'd run this by my team to kind of get their opinions on it and try to maximize our return on it. But I'd be thinking somewhere close to 210.
So 210 is what you would be able to sell it to your end buyer for?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
And it sounds like
there. And I'm not, and then I'm looking. It needs definitely. It still looks good, but it does need work. Kitchen, bathroom.
So I guess the other thing when we're looking at comps, because I think kind of one of the issues it sounds like we're just kind of butting heads a little bit, because I think we comp differently. No harm, no foul, but I think we're just kind of viewing the property in different lights, and that's where there's kind of the disconnect. Because I know it.
Where would you put the property?
So as far as a 210 sale price, it can sell for more than that. Because the other thing is, like, you're saying it needs, like, that's the thing when we look at the comps. If you're looking at the comps, let's look at the condition that the comps are in. Most of them, they're like as is condition, right? Which would be the same as ours. So if we're talking about doing a rehab, and if we look at the other thing is we're going to be coming in, they'll be buying it at the start of March, basically. So right as the market's actually gonna pick up for the summer months, and they'll be able to list it at the absolute prime time. So that's where I think 300. And the other thing is this woman, she listed it and dropped price and took an offer in less than 2 months. So it's a motivated seller. She didn't really give it kind of any fair time to really see what she could get for it. So, but I get where you're coming from. I'm not saying one of us is right, one of us is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I apologize if I'm if I seemed a little abrasive on my side.
No. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, just let me say this really quick. I actually like this stuff. You know what I mean? I like talking about it. I like getting questions on it. You know what I mean? So I like having a good conversation and some back and forth on it. And I don't think I'm the end all be all when it comes to this stuff anyway. So on a deal like this where we have a direct review, I'd want to bring this to my partners anyway, and everybody else, and have them even verify that even what I'm saying makes sense. Because I may take it to them and they're like, "You're an idiot. We can get it for this price." You know what I'm saying? But I just felt like I did the best I could at telling you why I felt the way I did.
Got it. Well, I'll tell you what. So why don't we do this, Dexter? Why don't you kind of take it to your team? You guys can chat about it. See if what kind of the best is you think you guys would be able to do if we were to JV on it. Is this the best phone number for you? Is this like a cell phone? Can I call, text you at this number?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. This is my personal number too. You can call me, text me. Happy to chat about it, and then we can go from there. If it's not a fit, hey, no harm, no foul. There's always another one.
Okay. All right. Well, if we were to go, would you think we would do a JV, or would you be trying to set a price for it?
So if we did set a price, will you guys push it out at the price we have set? Like if I were to set a price, say we want this number, let's just for simplicity's sake, if I were to say 250, then would it be a JV and you tack your fee on top and push it out? Or
yeah. If you said just 250, we would just tack our fee on top. But if we were going to JV it, it would be for what you got at the contract, that any amount above that we would split it.
Okay. And that it's there's kind of the three things. You guys either do a 50-50 JV, we set a number and you tack your fee on top and you push it out to your buyers, or you guys can buy it at 65%. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. I'd say chat with your team. Let me know your thoughts, and then we can always reconnect and go from there.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right. Thanks so much, Dexter. Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye. That was a funny conversation, guys. So a lot of really good things in that conversation. I'll be honest, I wasn't a big fan. So first time looking to work with Keegley, right? So let me ask you guys. I'm actually so curious. I would love your feedback. That kind of conversation, the things he sort of did is exactly what I just talked about, what we don't do. Right. Well, yours is kind of like this. It's got this in the bathroom. It's kind of right. And he's kind of Nick. And then what happened? We naturally got into, and I knew what was happening. I kind of played it out for you guys, but we naturally get into this back and forth of like, oh, well, no, I think this. He's like, well, I think that. Right. And this back and forth. And what is it doing? It's hurting rapport the whole time. Right. I mean, I'm sure you guys could hear it. You could feel it. Right. To where it's just like just from hearing the middle of our conversation, right? If it just like, boom, got cut off and you had no more audio. And if someone were to ask you, oh, do you think they ended up doing a deal or not? I would almost guarantee you'd all probably say like, yeah, no, they're not going to come to a deal. Right? All because of how that conversation went about. Now, the other thing we talked about, like being prepared for, he brought up all the things that we already knew about the property, right? We knew all the stuff he was gonna bring out to the table. And the thing is he's trying to tell me the ARV and the comps and whatnot. He's looking at it at like the hard number, like this is the science of the ARV, which from his position, that's what he wants to do, right? Because the other thing is like, you can't look at it like he's on your team, not someone like that. Because at the end of the day, he needs to negotiate his paycheck in there, right? And so he's talking to me like a seller, and he's trying to get it as low as possible because that's how they make their spread on the back end. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but just be aware when you go into those kind of conversations, right? So he's trying to kind of work down price on me, right? And the other thing is he gave me a comp and told me price literally within 5 seconds. Look, some people are really, really good and they can comp a property in 5 seconds. It doesn't take long to comp a property, but I'm going to be very hesitant on believing that number or believing that's your best number, right? That's like me throwing out like 50% of ARV offer, right? If I give you an offer, oh, I could buy this house for 120,000, and I do it within 3 minutes of talking to the seller on the phone for the very first time, that seller, the likelihood of them thinking that's the best I could do, or that's even like a serious offer, they're gonna be like, nah, bro, get off the phone with me, right? So that was one. I wanted him like, bro, at like, don't just throw a number at me. Let's actually look at the property. Let's actually comp it. Now the other thing, right? So we get in this back and forth, and you can feel and hear the rapport slowly coming down, right? And him and I were slowly getting further and further apart. So I don't want to ruin this relationship, and I don't want the conversation to go that way. So what do? I hit the reset button. That brings everything back to where it's good. And how did I do that? Right? We talked about this with Chris Voss, the accusation audit, right? Fall on your sword kind of thing. Hey, man. And also notice when I was kind of going back and forth with him, how I did it, right? I was asking the question, hey, can you help me understand? Hey, it seems like I'm definitely missing something. Help me out. So I'm asking it in that way because I want to know all of his cards. I want to know what exactly are you looking at, so then I can take it and kind of come back in the conversation. Be like, okay, so it sounds like you're looking at it from this, and this. He's like, yeah. Or, well, the funny thing is half the time he's like, well, not exactly. He's like, well, kind of, right? Because I was trying to get him to box into a corner, right? And so he had to keep like sort of fumbling over his words to correct himself before he got boxed into like a bad spot. Because the way he was going was the conversation was going to end with like, Dexter, man, it sounds like this probably just isn't going to be a good fit. And he almost did that multiple times, right? To where I was just going to end the conversation there. But he was fumbling like, well, not exactly. Like, well, it could be this, right? And a lot of us do that when we talk to sellers. Like, we play that role. We're him, and we're picking all this stuff apart, and then they're coming back at us, and we fumble over our words of like, well, not exactly. And then what does that do? It tells them that, like, one, it's like, bro, do you know what you're doing? Two, and I'm not saying he doesn't, right? But I'm just saying in the negotiation aspect, like that him and I just had. But one, it gives the feeling of like, dude, does this person know what they're doing? Two, he just told me, like, originally he said ARV 365%. When he starts fumbling, like, well, I already know, like, okay, cool. So that clearly is not your highest number. Like, clearly you can come up more than that, right? So, but how did we reconnect with them, right? After all that kind of back and forth. Hey, man, I'm sorry, bro. I've been like really abrasive and back and forth, right? And we say what the person's thinking about us, right? Or even if he's not, I'm gonna say it anyways, right? Because this is from Chris Voss in his book Never Split the Difference. He talks about 3 no's is better than a yes. What does that mean? It means exactly what we just did. Rather than saying something along the lines of like, hey, we're just trying to work together here, right? And he's like, yeah, rather than getting that, it's way better and way more effective for me to be like, hey, man, I'm so sorry. You probably think I'm being such a jerk. I know I've been really abrasive. Instead of getting one yes, he's going, oh, no. right? It's exactly what he did, right? And so, and it immediately brought us back, and it was like, oh, he's like, no, it's cool, man, blah, 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 right? And I was able to bring the report back for us. And then we can have an actual conversation. Because at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you want to do this deal, I want to do this deal. I just need to know, like, are you guys going to be able to be competitive on this one? If not, that's fine, you know. But I'm not really interested in kind of the whole back and forth that we just had. So, yeah, and there was some other stuff in that conversation, but those were like the big pieces. He's talking about taking 10% off the ARV based on comps over 90 days. Yep, and some guys do that, right? We've talked to some of our buyers to where they've said that that's what they do. So yeah, I've got no issues with this stuff he was bringing up. It's not even that I have an issue with it, right? Because I know those are the things that him or other buyers are going to look at. It was really just the way he went about it. And like, it's like, dude, if you're going to try and pick apart my thing, it's like, make sure you bulletproof your argument before it's like you kind of come at somebody. Right. And that's where we kind of got into this back forth where I'm like, dude, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but there's also these things that come into play, right? There's also this property. There's also this. Or it's like, well, bro, you're saying this is the ARV because of these sold comps, but you're also saying that we got to do all this rehab, kitchen, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Well, bro, your comps are as is comps. If you look at the condition of those properties, they're in like the same or worse condition than ours is currently in, right? So it's yeah, it was that, man, it's so funny. That's exactly what it feels like, guys, if you're cold calling sellers and you're trying to do the one-page script where you're like, hey, called you out of the blue. And I don't have a problem with that line. I actually like that line a lot. Hey, called you out of the blue. But it's like, do you have 2 minutes to talk about the property? Yes. Cool. Can I ask you a couple questions about the condition? Yes. Okay. Is it fair? Does it need any major repairs? Needs this, this, and this. Cool. I could give you an all cash offer of this price, right? And you do it within the first 4 minutes of ever talking to this person or looking at or looking at their house. Like, that's what just happened in the conversation with him. That's what he just did to us. He talked to us for 3 minutes, gives us a super low number, and then, right, we feel like the seller where we're like, dude, come on, like, that's ridiculous, right? So it's funny, man. It's so funny. Dwayne gives them permission to reject you. 100%. 100%. Taylor, whoa, that's genius. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, like, getting good at like sale, you kind of learn it's really just psychology. And again, it's not, when you get really good at negotiating and talking sales and stuff, my goal wasn't to like get one over on him. My goal wasn't to prove him wrong. Right. And sometimes we all kind of get caught up, right, in this back and forth. It happens. But ideally, what we want to do is we want to kind of stay at the same level of like, hey, we're both working together. Right. And so that's what, conversation started off. Then it was like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then it was like, yo, no, let's remind ourselves, hey, man, let's reconnect. Let's reset that rapport and like reel it back in and be like, yo, look, we're trying to get this deal done together. And it's just psychology through that whole thing. It's just effectively communicating. That's all we're doing. Cool. Well, that was interesting. What do we got? It is, let's run this next deal. I think it's a deal. All right. 1038. Let's go, Miguel. Able to close as quickly as title can deliver all closing docs, but it's likely the quickest we close is around 72 hours. I ain't got no problem with that. Okay, that works great. Thanks. Cool. All right. Well, that's good. Jeez, man. Why did it take me so long to be in a market with hedge funds? Not saying they're the end all be all, but gosh, it is nice. We added this one to our list. Yes, that's what we're doing. We're gonna look up his phone number, and then we ended up talking with Dexter. Freaking Dexter, man. It probably didn't help that I like started the conversation with busting his chops a little bit, but that's okay. We got through it. So also like I did that in a playful way, right? So where I was like, oh man, I was like, bro, I thought, right, I had a light tone, but I was also kind of letting him know like no, don't like let it wait all weekend. This was like Friday afternoon. I hit up, I think Liam's the guy that owns the franchise that they have in Orlando. He was like, oh yeah, he's like my guy Dexter will reach out to you, and then I didn't hear from him until like now. 10:30 on a Monday morning. Dude, in this business, that's way too slow. Way too slow. Like for a lot of you guys, you're like, bro, like my inspection period's up. Like it's too late to even have the conversation. So, and it's something as quick as it like shoot me a text, something, whatever. But dude, don't leave me hanging for like 2-3 days. All right. All right. Ooh, they're sending me all these properties. So, guys, ideally, we have it set up to where it updates us hourly. During the weekdays, like we're at this computer the whole time, able to see them pretty quick. However, on the weekend, like I should be looking at these when they pop up. That's kind of the value, or at least the same day. That's ideally what we want to do. We don't want to let these sit 2-3 days and then be looking at them. That's the difference between the guy that gets a deal and the one that doesn't. So let's look at this. Okay, looks clean. They dropped 176. Where is so it's a 2 I don't like 2-1s. It's 2-1. This is in Leesburg. Okay, so we're out in this area. So listed for 179. They only dropped $3,000. It's been listed for 46 days or something like that. Now I'm gonna say, well, so it's like 9 years newer. That's an investor comp. Let's see. So ours is 1951. So sold for 142. Okay, let's get this. Offer. So there's a 3-1, bought for 135, sold for 230. But looks like, yeah, it's got some water in the backyard. We'll take a quick look at it, but I would say it's probably not a comp. Yeah, it's really nice. Let's look at some before and after. So this is what it was before. It wasn't bad either. So they got this at a deal. So they bought this at the end of August. Nice. Put a little bench out there. They've got a little dock. Yeah, this is not a comp. But nice property. So this one, I'm gonna say comp because it's looks like it's listed right around ARV. Quick look. So we're gonna do failed, soft vets, save. On to the next one. Or oh wait, there's two. There's two here. Cool. Let's look at this one. Listed 7 days ago. Clean. So it's listed for 245. So ours is it's a 3-2, 1,300 square feet, 1-car garage. So these are all pretty new. Sold for $1,000. What's under contract? All right, so this looks like a flip. They've got a 2-car garage built in 97. It's a little too new, but let's do settings, all activity. There we go. Now let's look at them. So this was bought for 176 and flipped for 245. Ours is listed for 245. This actually looks really similar to our house. Like, yeah, like when you look at the like, yeah, this looks like an as-is comp. Amazing price reduction for a quick sale, but it was sold. So yeah, I would say not a deal. Yeah, it's probably listed right around ARV, and it's only been listed for 7 days. So we're gonna put that to failed soft vet. Make sure it's not on any other lists. Cool. So we looked at these two. Now there's this one. Let's click on that. Small rooms. Investment opportunity. Good bones, but needs several repairs. Flooring, ceiling, roof. Okay. Larger backyard in the heart of Kissimmee. Ooh, we like Kissimmee. Let's look at some comps. So they're asking 265. How long has it been on for? 3 days. 265. Let's see what's under contract right here. That is not our house. That is an interesting kind of build. But that is not ours. That is foreshorn, not a comp of ours. Let's look at these investor properties. Allegedly. That's a cute little house. Not our comp. Honestly, kind of this grandma house. Looks kind of like ours. What is this? 3-2, 1,600 square feet. Ours is 3-2, same. Yeah, what's oh, this is 1950. So ours is at least a lot newer than that one, so that's good. Let's look at some solds. So 1981. So on the high end, we've got 325, 326. The good news is these are all older properties. Okay, so that's good to know at least. So let's take a look at some of these higher ones. This looks a lot like ours. I think it's this one, right? 325. So we're trying to get an idea of where we think ARV is on this one. Let's see if we add it. Let me take a look at ours again. Okay. Whew, needs some work. Oh my gosh. Landscapers got their hands full there. So I'm gonna say, I'm saying maybe like 300 to 320s ARV. But if this house needs everything, it's gonna be a really big rehab, and we're probably gonna need it at like half the price. But this is the type of properties that we're looking for. So what I'll do is, you know what? This might actually be, I think 1981 is literally, or is it 82? What's Orlando? Where is the looking for what the hedge fund buyer, 1965 or newer. Where's the other one? Amherst. This is their buy box. So in Orlando, okay, 1972. So you know what? We'll add this and possibly see if it's a hedge fund fit. The other thing is I want to talk with this agent because I want to be talking with agents that are getting these types of listings. Because ideally, I want them to call me before they list it and be like, hey, Nate, you want to save me a bunch of time and energy with having to do all this stuff and list this property? Like, can you just buy it? And I'll be like, yeah, for this price. And they're going to be like, cool, that works. And then they get like the full 6% or whatever. We get to buy it off market, and the seller gets what they're looking for, and we paid zero in marketing for that deal. Guys, I must sound like a broken record when I talk about zero ad spend in marketing. I can't tell you how like big of a deal that is. It like might not seem like that big of a deal, but overhead, ad spend, all that stuff is a really big freaking deal. All right, save that. We added it to list, right? I think we did, but let's do it again. Save. Cool. All right, not bad, Privy. Giving us some goodies over the weekend. That's the other thing is the weekends are probably typically the best time to like be on top of your emails and checking them because that's a lot of times when agents will post new stuff. Hence why we've got a bunch of emails to look at. All right, so we've got a 2-2. That's neat. Little spiral staircase. It's got like a loft, garage. Okay, let's look at some comps. Or what is, real quick, what does this say? Charming, 2-bed, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What's under contract? Oh, this is a 1910 house. So we got one of them 100-year-old homes. It's 1920. It's a 3-1. That sold for 215. Ours is listed for 245. They dropped price pretty much at the end of January. How long has it been active? 94 days. 94 days. Let's see. This is 1969 though. 1915. It's a 3-2. Let's look at this. So this sold for 280. So they bought it at 130. Sold it for 280. Good for them. So honestly, that's probably kind of what I'm thinking. Like if someone were to flip it, we need to be at like 100 grand under that, probably closest 130. I think we could probably pay more. I think like I actually kind of like that house. But I mean, we still would be so far from that list price, and it's been listed for 96 days, and like they haven't dropped it a ton. I mean, that is a big price drop, but they're still so far away. Let's see, like what have they done? So it's 2016, 2022. So they listed it in November for 254. Oh, they were under contract at one point, and then it fell through. Oh, so it just came back on the market. Yeah, so we're going to fail it. So it was under contract and then fell through, probably didn't pass inspection. Either inspection or, well, at that point, no, probably their financing fell through. So we're going to do failed. Man, that brings us to 1057. Man, it went by way too quick. We still got all of these to look at. Jeez. I'm going to be busy today. Cool. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We had a lot of fun stuff happen today. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation with Dexter. You kind of got to see like what a conversation looks like when, you know, someone's giving you some pushback on the property. You know, and it's like, yeah, even us guys, you know, we get people that are gonna, you know, we're gonna talk to them on the phone and they're gonna beat you up on the price or the property or whatever. Happens to all of us, right? And so we got to see how we navigated that conversation. Really, really important. I hope you guys take, you know, some things from that and look to implement that in your own conversations. And also keep in mind, like, dude, don't let it get you down, right? It's cool, man. You know, not every person, just like not every seller, like we're not the right fit for every seller. So like, you know, when we talk to someone, they're like, oh dude, F off, like I'd never take that price. Don't take it personal. We just might have not been the right fit for that guy, right? And that's okay. Same thing. I might not be the right wholesaler. This might not be the right deal for Dexter, for the guy I was talking. It doesn't mean we'll never do a deal. It doesn't mean like, he's a terrible person. It's just like, look, I get it. Like that's your business model. That's how you got to do things. Cool. Like maybe this just isn't a good fit. and we'll just go separate ways. No harm, no foul. Right? That's okay. But cool. Well, guys, I hope you kickstart your week off really, really strong. Let's kill it this week. Let's get some deals. Let's talk some leads. Let's man, I'm trying to get the one deal sold. Oh, the other thing I'm going to be doing this week is I'm going to be looking to connect with more wholesalers. I want to get on more wholesalers lists. So we want to do a little bit of that, and then we're also going to be doing a bunch of talking to agents. So we've been adding a bunch of properties. I'm going to finish going through the list and adding all the stuff that I want to, and then tomorrow it's going to be all phone calls, baby, all phone calls. So we'll get to hear those conversations. You'll get to hear me call some agents, probably talk about how we need to be way lower than they have it listed. So we'll get to go over, how those conversations go. I'm sure we'll get a few agents that aren't really happy with kind of what we do or how we talk or whatever the case may be. So how do we handle a difficult agent or, just a more difficult conversation with an agent? That's always fun stuff. So guys, come back tomorrow. Hope to see you all then. Otherwise, go check out Nathan Payne. He should be live right about now. Tomorrow will be day 15. Tomorrow we will be at the halfway mark. Crazy. It's going quick. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Later, gang.